Hey, what's up, dudes? Welcome to the channel. I am just some guy. And so, yesterday, if you watched yesterday's video, hold on, let me turn this down a little bit. I'm sure it's really loud. If you watched yesterday's video, right, you'll know that, I was going to talk today a little bit about something that's kind of been something that's been on my mind, at least, anyways, for, a little bit now, and it's the mind, right? Like I've talked about this in the past before with just memory stuff in general. I've talked about it a little bit with like overclocking your brain and stuff like that, and lucid dreaming and all that stuff. The mind is something that is really kind of interesting to me because, well, you know, um, I am somebody who has some issues sometimes with cognition. I've always had like a little bit of a hard time with short term memory, and like to a point sometimes, especially now with long term memory. Now, one of the things that and the thing too that's crazy, and let me know if you guys agree with this, if this is a thing that happens to you as well. Like, I never remember important things that happened to me, like, in the past, like, if it's, like, something really important. But, bro, let me tell you what, if it's some sort of inconsequential, just absolute random BS that somebody said one time 5 years ago about how much they like, chocolate donuts or something like that, I'd be like, man, remember that time that we were talking and you were like, hey, yo, dude, chocolate donuts slap. And I'd be like, bro, that was like, what are you even talking about? What are you even on about, bro? But anyways, regardless, the reason why I think that I've been really big on the whole memory thing is that my grandma suffered from Alzheimer's and dementia. It was not a good experience watching the deterioration of the mind, and it really kind of, when you're watching this, you're sitting there and like it's hard to fathom being trapped in your own brain and not remembering things. And like just think about how frustrated you get when you can't find your keys. Where did you put your keys? But imagine that like all the time. Uh, my grandma would get very, very frustrated very quickly, and I had to, you know, grapple with the fact that it's that, but all of the time. And one of the questions that kind of brought up is like if we lose our minds, if our mind deteriorates, do we stop being who we are if we can't remember anything? Like if you can't, amnesia victims, stuff like that. Do you stop being who you are if you don't remember anything about what happened to you or anything along those lines? I think it's a rough predicament. And I think one of the things that like really worries me, right? And like is also kind of interesting in a way is I know that like depression impacts the mind. There's a lot of, memory issues when it comes to people suffering from depression. There is the theories of what happens to people with long COVID. All of these things that affect your brain, and like I think a lot of people don't take into consideration just how delicate the brain is, because well, we don't really think about it, do we? We're not sitting there like constantly like, oh, I need to, play this. Well, most people aren't. Some people are, and I want to be one of these people. But like, I want to start knocking the dust off. I want to knock off the rust that I feel like has been accumulating on my brain. Like, I'll be real, I am not as sharp as I used to be, and like a lot of times it's a very scary concept, as a person to just sit there and like come to that realization that like I don't remember things as good as I used to. I don't, it takes me a little bit longer to like pick up on things. Not pick up on things, but like, to work things through and stuff like that. And well, it's a lot of I just I don't use my brain, I think, as much as I used to or as I need to, and I think I need to find a good way to overcome this and like, knock the dust off, you know. And so I think that I've been watching a couple of videos from like, healthy is it healthy gamer GG, um the doctor and stuff like that. And I want to get to a point where I would be happy if I could get back to, to where I was prior, and go from there. But it's a thing, man. Like, it, especially after losing my grandmother and watching her at like the final days. And you know it sucks. Like, I would go to the assisted care place that she was living at, and like she was in memory care. So every time I went to visit, it would be like seeing all of these people in various states of mental decay. And it was it was depressing and heartbreaking. Like, I know that like I don't think I ever saw another family member there while I was there, other than like, me and my mom. And like, I get it. Like, going there was super depressing because you see these people that don't know where they are, they don't know who anybody is, they don't remember the most, menial things. They're getting frustrated, they're getting upset at like, you know, the fact that they just can't remember, and it's not their fault. Realistically, like, what did they do to get that? I didn't do a whole lot of research on dementia or anything like that, but it's like, it's one of those things that I believe it's still something that we don't really know a whole lot about. But with my grandma, while I was while I was in I was in the place watching, hanging out and watching everything. One of the things that like really struck me was just that, her roommate. So her roommate would have entire conversations simply with herself, and it was rough to it was well, it wasn't necessarily rough to watch, right? Like, it was, it was what it was. But like, the thing that like really stuck out, I think, the most to me was that she would be having conversations just with herself. And the thing that was really kind of crazy, at least to me, was it was a one-sided conversation. Like, it was just her, but it would be as if she were on the phone. You know what I mean? Like it was almost as if she were on the it was like she was on the phone with somebody and there would be the breaks in time. Like there would be just conversations that she would be having and she would just stop, let the person talk, and then continue the conversation. And it was just so wild for me to listen to because in her mind somebody was there, and that was crazy to me. Like I couldn't grasp it. She was having a whole on conversation with another person that just did not exist. And she was a nice lady. And if you engaged her, you could hold a conversation. Like I had a conversation with her before, you know. And so it's not that I don't know, it's kind of hard to like put it into words. So it's like it's not that she wasn't cognizantly there, but she just saw things. And so it was wild to me to just see the difference, like the difference that, that the two had. Like my grandmother could hardly string together sentences and just had made up words, and would just make noises sometimes. And but this lady, full on, fully coherent sentences just to somebody that didn't exist. And at first, I thought maybe that she was just trying to do that whole, like, just talking to herself kind of thing to see if, like, somebody would, like, answer and she could have a conversation with them. Nope. Nope. It was definitely a full on two-sided conversation. I just didn't see the other person. Maybe she could see ghosts or something like that, but unlikely. That's unlikely. And the thing too is that it wouldn't be like sporadic conversations either. It wouldn't be like, switching from like topic to topic and like going like that way. It was legitimately she would have like a full coherent multi-hour conversation that just continued. And it was really something to see. And it's rough, right? Because if you think about it, like if I'm sick, let's say I have pneumonia or something like that, right? Let's say I'm real sick, like I'm just not feeling good at all, but it's just something that I can cure and get over, right? Like in that situation, you know, you get over the virus, you get over the bug, whatever it is, and then you go about your time, and you're good to go, right? But once the brain starts to go, like you can't fix that. Like there's no like coming back from brain deterioration. At least I don't think. I'm pretty sure there isn't. And so it's not something that you can just go, "Oh, well, they'll get better." And I think that for the family is one of the hardest parts, right? Because you just literally have to sit there and watch that person go. Like there's no, like, maybe some days are better than others, but like you have to grasp with the fact that, like, they're not getting better. Like there's no, like, oh, take this pill and do 10 squats a day eat some soup and you'll be good. Like that's just not how that works, you know. And so it's it's real rough. And so like one of the things, especially like for me, is that like I really want to not get to that point. Like I mean, I don't know how to really put it, but like I really need to like figure out while I still have the capability and the potential to like, you know, I got a healthy brain. I mean, I'm not young, but I'm not like, you know, archaic or anything to the point where I would have like any sort of, you know, any real brain issues probably. Um and so like for me, like I need to work on not getting disconnected. Like can my internet stop being so bad? Um but like I need to work on like getting that, you know, that cognitive functionality sharpened back up to like where it was and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that was my conversation for today. Let me know what you guys think if you've ever had to deal with anything like that. Man, my latency is real bad. My internet must be getting jacked up. I'm sure that'll be an annoyance today. But yeah, so that's my big thing. And again, too, like if you know, I guess it goes to the people with that like are stuck in like forever comas and stuff like that too. But like when do you start when are you gone? You know what I mean? Like if the person's just like brain dead or their brain's deteriorated to a point, you know, like when do you stop being you type of deal? Sorry, this one's a little bit of a heavier one today, but you know, it's just something that's been kind of on my mind just since I lost my grandmother and stuff like that. So, let me know what you guys think, and yeah, give me some topics of stuff that you'd like to hear me talk about, and yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy, homies. Peace out.